Yeah, just win all your matches, then you don't have to worry about it. If you 3-0, you win.
There you go. Just win all your matches. Yeah, forget about all the games. Forget about all that stuff. Game number 2 is getting underway right now. We're going to find out if ErA can put one on the board, or if RDU is going to take a 2-0 lead here. Looking to bounce back from his first match versus Caldy. Wasn't happy about the way it panned out. So we're going to find out what changes both of these guys have made, how they've adjusted to each other.
This is something we don't see a ton of from ErA.
Yeah, Grim Patron, not really a large portion of his range. You know, we see it from time to time, but it's not always there.
Yeah, when you see Warrior from ErA, it's most likely a deck that has Deathwing in it.
We've seen him play Deathwing twice.
Oh yeah, you heard me right. Deathwing.
Wait, was it Muzzy played Deathwing twice?
Yeah, Muzzy played Deathwing twice. ErA is the only one who got it in play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he played it against RDU as well.
Was it really? No, I thought it was against Kranich.
No, it was against Kranich. Yeah. He played against Kranich, actually killed him with it. Yeah, because Kranich was playing Rogue and was out of saps.
Gosh. Yeah, I remember that. What a glorious game that was.
Yeah, all those matches right then. By the way, did you notice that all the people in this tiebreaker spot all played each other at the end of the season? So it's not only just rematches, they're fresh rematches.
Yeah, speaking of fresh rematches, by the way, you know, this is the one where RDU said to prepare for ErA, that he had taken a look at what ErA was losing to, not what ErA was winning with. And that was helping him find a spot to prepare.
And I remember that stuck really well with you. And that's something that, you know, I've done in other games, but I haven't, you know, thought about doing it in this one. And I'm surprised that more people haven't done it, since we have every match on the website. Literally every match, every card they played. You can find whatever you want about those games on pvplive.net, and you can go back and not only see how they win, but you can see what they lose to, and that's probably more important in some ways.
Which is a really interesting point for me, because ErA had to be paying attention to that interview. I mean, RDU beat him. He wants to know how RDU beat him.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I were to lose to someone in a big spot, or just any spot, if they're going to talk about the match, I want to hear what they have to say.
Yeah. So this game has panned out a little bit differently than you would have imagined. Warsong Commander hit the board early to threaten what was happening. RDU had to respond with Keeper of the Grove immediately. This is not a situation you often get into.
And how good is this from RDU? He has Acidic Swamp Ooze in his Druid deck against ErA.
Yeah, ErA's not always the guy who's going to play weapons. I mean, he does play a lot of Control Warrior, but Grim Patron hasn't been a big part of his range, and his Swamp Ooze is a lot better versus Grim Patron than it is versus Control Warrior.
Yeah, now, yeah, like you said, ErA's not the kind of guy that has weapons a lot. In fact, he almost never plays the classes with weapons in him. He's played very little Hunter. If he plays Warrior, then it's Control Warrior. So like Acidic Swamp Ooze isn't the best there, but if you're playing Druid and you play against a lot of the other matches that ErA could bring to you, the other decks, Acidic Swamp Ooze, not the worst card in the world against him.
No, certainly not. Wow, that's a really, really interesting pickup now.
Yeah, I mean, you just get to use an Innervate here as a Wrath, pretty much.
Well,
you don't get the card, but
yeah, kind of yes and no. I mean, he does save himself 5 points of health in this situation. You know, would he just use Innervate and Hero Power to take care of it? But now, if he wants to Innervate, he's actually Innervated out of Shade. He actually just loses his Wild Pyromancer. I
was about to say, he's not going to be able to Innervate here before. You know, this is something a lot of us have made this mistake before. They're like, oh yes, Innervated, oops. What just happened?
A lot of us have made mistakes. I always get Wild Pyromancers off my Piloted Shredders.
Yeah, once it happened to me a few times where I made a mistake of Wild Pyromancer, I started playing decks with it in the main so I could learn to play with the damn card.
Yeah, and so ErA actually, this is a pretty decent spot for him. Got to be able to check the Wild Pyromancer. This is where my curiosity was. Is he going to Interrage? Is he going to Cruel Taskmaster? This is the big difference here, because with 2 Grim Patrons in his hand, you're looking at him being able to wildly swing this board in his favor.
Yeah, if he picks up a Warsong Commander, he has Grim Patron plus Cruel Taskmaster plus Interrage, so he can go off very big on that turn and make a ton of Grim Patrons to start to attack RDU. Druid, not the best deck at recovering board states like that when you go super wide on them, and then plus ErA would have a second Grim Patron behind that if something were to go wrong. But look at this from RDU.
Yeah, we've turned this into an attrition battle at this point. And Acolyte of Pain, Cruel Taskmaster is going to be where it is. ErA's looking for more Whirlwind effects, so he can utilize his Interrage to make 4 Grim Patrons in one turn, right as I say it, of course, too. Next turn for ErA is going to be massive.
You have been so good at this season, just calling the cards off the top of the deck.
You know, we just let the pain speak to me. Force Nature's not bad.
Yeah, he's actually got combo already.
24 points of damage available. 25 with the Innervate.
Yeah, I think what RDU is going to do here is just going to try to make sure he doesn't die over the next turn or two, get in a couple points of damage here, and then try to finish this off of combo, because these Shades are about to be too big for ErA to handle, even with multiple Whirlwind effects.
That's really the point that's being made here, too. is how does ErA actually handle what's happening right now? Do you think with 3 cards left in hand, ErA's thinking about forcing Nature Savage Roar?
I mean, it's always on your mind against Druid once they get to 9 mana, and like it's just a good practice to have in these matchups. Every time you're playing against Druid and they start to get up to 9 mana, you should be thinking about that every time. Because what does he pass with 3 mana, you know, and the way that his turn happens? He probably has some stuff that he doesn't want to play or just can't play.
Yeah. So going to fill his board with Grim Patrons instead.
Yeah, he's going to get a huge Battle Rage next turn, most likely, too, if this board doesn't get taken care of.
Yeah. So 14, 8, 22, 3, 4, 25, 26, 27 points available for RDU this turn. He's looking to hold out just a little bit longer.
And he's got to be worried about dying next turn, too, though. That's the thing here. Because, you know, if ErA just has something as simple as Battle Rage, that picks up 4 new cards. So he'd get 5 draws during his turn.
Yeah, he's going to use Force Nature Savage Roar to clear up these Grim Patrons. He knows that this is too dangerous of a spot for him to keep waiting. So let's take care of it now.
Yeah, he can get some value here by using his face to take care of some of it, too. He's going to leave him with just a Cruel Taskmaster. Now, do you push for damage here?
Honestly, I don't mind pushing for damage in this spot. You know, you get 4 extra right away. I don't even mind taking out the Cruel Taskmaster.
Yeah, I expect him to do this. If he's going to attack with one of the shades, then he has to pick off the Cruel Taskmaster. And it just makes Battle Rage a worse card here.
Yeah, which is really the bigger story.
Now, this game is not over with by any means the imagination here. Oh, that was a big draw, actually. That Whirlwind not only kills a shade, but gets him an extra card here off the Battle Rage. I mean, look at how many cards ErA went through this turn with no board.
Yeah, this
deck is good.
This has got to be cycled, right? He just needs extra cards.
Yeah, you just have to cycle here. You still have an Innervate in your hand, too. I mean, so you can do all kinds of crazy things. Yeah, I think it's going to draw 2 cards immediately.
Yeah, the rich get richer. The theme of this game. These guys have drawn so many cards.
And he's going to draw another one of Wild Growth next turn. Heard you like drawing cards, bro.
Yeah, he's going to pick off this Gnomish Inventor, too. Wants to keep the board as restricted as possible.
No Warsong Commander again for ErA.
But I mean, pretty darn good board state, though.
Yeah, he's going to set up a really good one here.
RDU is not primed to take care of this board position necessarily. Swipe, does this change anything?
Well, you could take out the Grim Patron here. If you're going to have to attack through this board state, what you can do is take out the Grim Patron so he doesn't get to, you know, expand his board state out of control here.
You do give him a lot of cards in that process, though.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a lot of cards left in his deck. You know, he's been through so many already, and you've already gotten through both Grim Patrons. So all you're fearing at this point is Warsong Commander Frothing Berserker, but you've already seen almost all of his Whirlwinds and Inner Rages. So I think ErA is drawing pretty thin to win this game.
Yeah, Azure Drake, actually a pretty important pickup here, too. Will deny 1 card, will get through.
Okay, so if he does this, if he attacks this way, it makes another Grim Patron, but he can swipe the face here, right? Oh, no, he has to swipe the 3/3. Yeah, he has to swipe the 3/3 Patron. Okay.
The bigger deal here is that it denies an extra card, picks him up a card, and gets an extra threat on board. Azure Drake was probably one of the best minions he could have drawn to this spot.
And he gets to move in another 6 here. ErA really needs some help here.
Yeah, this is looking pretty poor from this spot.
All right, he picked up Armor Smith, picked up Fiery War Axe, picks up a Death Spite.
I mean, it's got to be Warsong Commander next turn, right? 9, 10,
yeah,
11,
but
12,
this Death Spite
13,
actually
16.
slows the game down quite a bit, but you're going to see Lothar be huge again here in these matches because it's going to slow down ErA so much. You won't be able to do any of this stuff for free or 1 mana, but oh yeah, he's actually just going to give up.
Wow, ErA's just going to not even try to extend this game position. Just going to concede game number 2. You know, keep your mindset on even keel is what I feel like for this game.